So, last week, Swamp Watch on foreign government lobbying got a huge response, especially this bit.
Foreign governments have embassies. They have ambassadors. Why the hell do they need a bunch of greedy, corrupt Washington elites to push their interests in exchange for fat fees? It's time to close down the foreign government lobbying swamp.
Oh my gosh, I was really fired up about that. I'm taken aback by how angry I was then, but I'm going to get fired up again now, all over again. You had an overwhelming reaction. The lobbying of our government by foreign governments, in your view, should be banned. So, here with me to discuss that is Florida Congressman and Republican candidate for governor in the Sunshine State, Ron DeSantis. Now, he sponsored a bill that aims to establish a lifetime post-employment ban on lobbying on behalf of foreign governments by former senior executive branch officials. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us on this topic. It's something, as I was just saying, our audience is really fired up about. It's great that you've been working on it. Tell us what you've been doing on it so far and any progress you've made.
Well, I got to give credit to President Trump. As a candidate, he gave a speech saying we needed to drain the swamp, and he identified a number of different things that we needed to do, including term limits, but he also identified the revolving door between Congress and the White House and the executive branch in K Street, including the foreign lobbying. So what I did is I took those ideas, I put it into this bill, the Drain the Swamp Act, because I think we need to do it. If you're somebody that's been the Secretary of State or you've been White House Chief of Staff, you should not then leave that position and then start getting paychecks from the government of Saudi Arabia or the government of China. It's just totally ridiculous, and it deepens the swamp in Washington. So I've been pushing this, but I'll tell you, Steve, when you start hitting at the political class like this, we've gotten a lot of pushback inside Washington. People won't be public about it. If there was a vote on the House floor, I think it would pass. But this is not something that a lot of people want to see because they view it as potentially limiting their post-government career options.
So have you had people actually, I don't know, threaten you on it or say, you know, what are you doing working on this issue? What are you doing?
Well, we had some people early in the administration say, look, we don't want to do this going forward because it's going to limit the people who will be willing to come and work for the administration. And my response to that was, well, wait a minute. If someone's just coming to work in a senior position because they want that to be a springboard so they could do lobbying for a foreign government, then that's probably not somebody you want working in the administration to begin with.
Exactly. So listen, what's the kind of state of play? You said you got the bill. It's not been introduced because there hasn't been a vote. Is it going to be?
Well, no, it's filed. It's introduced. We're trying to get a vote. I'll tell you, what you're doing helps me tremendously because you're shining a light on this now, and I think this is going to give us momentum. And so the ban on foreign lobbying is a part of it. The other major part of it is a 5-year ban on lobbying for any member of Congress, post-service, and congressional staffers, and that's very important. And I think this omnibus bill that you've been critical of and that I voted against, that is a big gift for K Street. A lot of the congressional staffers involved in writing that will be able to deliver things for K Street and then cash in after they're done serving in the Congress and double or triple their salary. Those incentives need to stop.
It's really important that you're doing this, actually. Now, our viewers should understand this because the details really matter. The president, before the election, made a set of drain the swamp promises, including banning members of the executive branch from doing the kinds of things the congressman is describing. And he's done that. Those have been implemented, but he can't do it for the legislative branch, for Congress, and that's what you're doing. So that's the gap that you're filling. Do you think that, you know, in order to push it forward and get the vote and make this happen, what can we all do? What can our viewers who are watching, who are so angry about this, is there anything specific you could suggest that they do to help move this forward?
Absolutely. You can call your member of Congress and tell them to co-sponsor the Drain the Swamp Act by Congressman Ron DeSantis. And if we can build a big group of co-sponsors, then I have the ability to then go and say, hey, this thing needs to be processed and it needs to be moved forward for a vote. So it could be a huge help if the American people get engaged.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for working on it. Let's keep in touch on it and come back and tell us how much you're making progress and what more we can do to help because, as I say, we all really care about it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Will do.